Hello, welcome to episode 8 of Johnny Talks. The title of this video is Why Are We Selective with Our Prayers and Thoughts? As everyone is aware of by now, this world has become quite a crazy place lately. Hello DLA, hello Black Knight the Gamer, hello to you both and welcome to episode 8 of Johnny Talks. Today I am talking about how selective we have become with our thoughts and prayers. I will explain exactly what I mean in just a second. Just bear with me. Fight. So, the world has become quite a crazy place lately. Lots of killings and bombings, stabbings, shootings, terrorism. Just a lot of bad things have been happening in the world lately, all over the world. But the question I'm asking is, why are we selective when it comes to our thoughts and prayers? Every time there's a school shooting in America or some other part of the world, it's immediately followed. Those events are followed by people's thoughts and prayers. Every time there's an ISIS attack in some part of the world, there is thoughts and prayers shared. No matter what the situation, whether it's a bombing or a school shooting or a terrorist attack, straight away people are, going on social media with hashtag prayer for whatever country. Yeah, you can ask me a question, no problem. Hashtag prayer for whatever country this incident occurred in. And rightfully so. Of course, your prayers and thoughts are going to be with the victims and the family and friends of those victims of a bombing or high school shooting or terrorist attack. Whenever you do Johnny Talks, why is it? It's just random. It's just a random thing. It's just random. It means nothing. It's just a random thing. I suppose just to give my viewers something to watch while I talk. But I hope it isn't too much of a distraction. God knows there's enough distractions in this world as there is. So the question that I'm asking is, why are we selective with our thoughts and prayers? What I mean by selective is, why is it that when mainstream media reports that there's been a bombing in, let's say, Paris, that we can have the sympathy and emotion to prayer for the victims of that bombing in Paris, but then when hundreds of people have been killed in the Middle East by US and British armies, and they're just called, what are they called? Casualties of war. Whatever the correct term is. My point is, in the Middle East, every day, there are innocent men, women and children who are killed as a result of the wars that take place in those countries in the Middle East. And I'm not talking about terrorists here. I'm not talking about the terrorists that America, England and their allies are fighting against. I'm talking about innocent men, women and kids who die, who are killed, who are blown up, shot, burnt, you name it, every day by military personnel, or not even just military personnel, but just murdered by terrorist groups all over the Middle East. Okay, my point is this: why aren't we praying and thinking about those people? Where is the hashtag prayer for the Middle East? I mean, it's just not there, is it? It's just not there. I don't see thoughts and prayers for the other countries and the other incidents. So why are we so selective? Why do we just give our thoughts and prayers to, you know, just using Paris as an example here. You know, if Paris had a bombing, terrorist attack, or let's say if Los Angeles had a high school shooting, why is it just Paris and Los Angeles we pray for? Hello, welcome back. So yeah, I mean, so let me ask you, Black Knight the Gamer, why do you think we're so selective? Why do you think that we just pray for Paris when Paris has a terrorist bombing attack? Why is it that we just pray and think about the victims of that incident? Or why is it that we just pray and think about the victims of, let's say, a high school shooting? Selective about what? Selective about who we pray for and who we think about. If there was a bombing, a terrorist bombing in Paris right now, the entire world would go to social media and say a hashtag prayer. If there was a high school shooting in Los Angeles right now, the whole world would say a hashtag prayer for Los Angeles. But whenever there is a killing in the Middle East, at the hands of US and British military, there is no hashtag prayer for the Middle East. No, I'm just saying the Middle East I'm not very familiar with the Middle East, so I'm going to say every country in the Middle East. I mean, we all know about the wars that are currently taking place in the Middle East right now. So that's what I mean by selective. That's what I'm talking about. So have you any idea as to why we're so selective? Why do we just pray for what's reported on mainstream media, but not pray for, you know, what happens outside of mainstream media? Because newsflash, mainstream media does not report everything that happens in the world. I mean, there are people who are shot at, bombed, killed. Yeah, I don't know either. That's why I made this video, is to just show the question out there and see what people think. I mean, it's intrigued me for a very long time why we are so selective, and I kept this video, the title of this video, specific to thoughts and prayers in terms of because whenever there's a high school shooting, what else now? Just these disastrous things, you know, if there was an ISIS attack or high school shooting, I'm just using those as, you know, an example of a devastating, tragic incident. Every time one of those incidents happens, it's immediately followed by our thoughts and prayers with the family, which is rightfully so. I want to make that point clear. Rightfully so. Jesus Christ, rightfully so. Of course, our thoughts and prayers go to victims of that, you know, tragic incident. Of course. But I'm asking, why are we so selective? Why do our thoughts and prayers go with the victims, the family and friends of one incident in one country, but then we blatantly ignore a similar, if not worse, incident in another country? Like, why do we do that? I would love to know why do we do that? And I'm telling you, every day of the week, okay, probably as I'm speaking right now, there is an innocent civilian, man, woman, child, being bombed in the Middle East, schools, hospitals being bombed in the Middle East because of a war that these people did not ask for. Okay? We all know, like, I mean, if anyone doesn't know, like, the Middle East has been under war for decades. Okay, for decades. And look, a lot of the times these wars, like, I don't want to say have to be fought, but the reality is a lot of dangerous people are in the Middle East that pose a threat to America, pose a threat to England and to the West. And look, sometimes wars, you know, are fought with good intentions, but nothing good ever comes from it. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. But the fact of the matter is, terrible things happen in the Middle East every day of the week, where innocent civilians lose their lives, and we don't do absolutely nothing about it. There's no hashtag pray for these countries, pray for these victims. There's no outrage. Like this, I mean, if I turn on Sky News right now, or BBC, just using examples here, okay, not promoting any media, okay, but if I turned on Sky News right now, and they were reporting that in London, 200 people were blown up in the subway. God forbid, like, you know, but I'm just giving it as an example. I mean, you can be sure that every single media outlet in the UK, in Ireland, across the world, would be reporting that 200 people blown up in London. That would be a massive incident. That would be a war. ProChronicsVlogz, welcome to episode 8 of Johnny Talks. Appreciate the support as always, man. You're my number one supporter. Appreciate it all, man. The question I'm asking in this video, ProChronics, is why are we so selective with our thoughts and prayers? If I turned on Sky News right now and I heard that there was a bombing in London where 200 people were blown up, the entire world would be in outrage, rightfully so. It would be a war. It would be a war. It would be a terrorist war. The whole world would be talking about it. Our thoughts and prayers would be with the victims, the families and friends, rightfully so. But why is it then that in the Middle East, in a country like Afghanistan or Iraq, just using those countries as an example, where innocent civilians, you're talking men, women and children, are blown up, schools are blown up, hospitals are blown up, where 200, if not more people are blown up on a regular basis in those countries. And I'm talking about innocent people here now. And guess what? Nobody is talking about that. It is ignored. There's no for Iraq, or pray for Afghanistan, or pray for all the children who were blown up. And there you are, at the hands of US and British military officials. And those little children, okay, and women and innocent civilians are caused not more than casualties of war. This is all happening. This is all reality. So why are we so selective? That's the question that I'm putting out there. So I asked Black Knight the Gamer. He doesn't know why. I don't know why myself, to be honest with you. So ProChronicsVlogz, I'm going to put the question to you, buddy. Do you know why we're so selective? Like, what is it like? Is it just like, do we just have to go along with what the mainstream media are telling us to care about? Is that what it is? We have to be told what to pray for, what to think about. We have to be told how to feel. Is that what it is? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe if mainstream media are not talking about hospitals, well, they do report the hospitals and schools that are blown up in the Middle East. They do report it, but there's no outrage. There's no getting together and hashtag pray for, you know, the many people who were murdered in those countries. So we're so selective. I mean, if there was a high school shooting in America, again, the whole world would be in outrage. The whole world would be talking about that. Whereas if there was probably a high school shooting in Afghanistan, he's just an ISIS member. Nobody cares. It's crazy, isn't it? When you're doing Mario 64 and I don't know there being man, I take it you meant pricks. Yeah, I mean, there is a bit of prickiness involved in it, I think. I think some people are just pricks when it comes to that. They just don't care about a country that isn't theirs. Like, if it isn't happening in their country, they don't care. So I think there is a bit of a prick element involved in it. As far as Mario 64, man, it is in the pipeline. It is it's like a Super Mario pipe, Mario pipe. It's in the pipeline, buddy, and I hope you look forward to it. But getting back to this video at hand, I was always aware of this, that we're just so selective, and I kept this video specific to thoughts and prayers in terms of how we're selective. I could make a far bigger and longer video about how selective we are in the broader scales of things, you know, in many other areas. But in this video I'm talking about the area of thoughts and prayers when it comes to terrible things that happen in the world, like terrorist bombings or high school shootings or whatnot. We're so selective. I mean, here's the thing. Here is the thing, right? Hashtag Me Too. The hashtag Me Too movement. Okay, which I've spoken about briefly in my series. A man accuses, no problem, buddy. Enjoy your dinner, man. Enjoy your dinner. And thanks again for the support, man. Really appreciate that. The hashtag Me Too movement. Oh, I love saying these things. I just love going out there and just being me and saying things that just some people just don't have the balls to talk about, or just quite simply they just can't, or just afraid to, or whatever else. I don't care. The hashtag Me Too movement, okay? A woman accuses a man of rape, but no evidence, and the whole world is talking about it. In the Middle East, there are people getting raped, like it's just part of the culture. Aidan, hello to you, man. Aidan Denniston, great to have you on episode 8 of Johnny Talks. This video I'm talking about why we are so selective with our thoughts and prayers. Best example I give is, like, if there was a massive I've come at a bad time. Why? Oh no. Are you busy or something? No problem, man. If you want to keep it short and simple, we're so selective. If there was a terrorist attack on, let's say, Germany, and let's say 50 people were shot at and they all lost their lives, it would be a tragic incident, of course, and of course our thoughts and prayers would go to the victims, the family, friends. I was talking about rape. Yeah, I mean, so let's take rape for instance, right? In the Middle East, there are a lot of people being raped. Okay? I'm not going to go into the ins and outs and specifics of that, but it's a fact. A lot of people get raped in the Middle East, and it gets completely ignored, and it goes completely under the radar. Whereas in America, all it takes is for one woman to accuse a man, like it's a pure acquisition, accuses a man of rape, no evidence, nothing solid to back up that accusation, and the entire world is in outrage. Hashtag Me Too movement gets created. So why are we so selective? Why do we create a hashtag Me Too movement when merely a couple of women make an accusation that they can't stand, that they have no leg to stand on, half the time? And then when a lot of people are being raped in the Middle East on a regular basis, I mean brutally raped here now, in the Middle East, nobody is talking about it, and there's no hashtag Me Too movement over there. So selectivity, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not just specifically talking about rape. I'm just talking about how selective we are. I mean, some people, you see, with Johnny Talks and the kind of things that I talk about, a lot of people will bury their heads in the sand, and they'd much rather see a Fortnite gameplay stream. And that's fine. That's fine, not bashing that. It's perfectly fine. I mean, some people just don't want to go there. They want to live in their comfort zone. Everything is fine. Everything is happy and peachy and smiley. I don't have to worry about these things. That's fine. I saw the live stream about when you talked about the video I made a few weeks ago. Oh yeah. Man, I remember that video, and actually, I really appreciate that video. Actually, I really do. It meant a lot, to be honest. It meant a lot. It's true support right there, and man, really appreciate that support, man. Really do. So the next time, well, Jesus Christ, hopefully there won't be a next time. But the way this world is going. Thumbs up to you too, Aiden, man. Hopefully there won't be a next time, but with the way this world is going and how crazy it is and how evil it is, come on, there's going to be, let's be honest, there's going to be a next time. There's going to be another terrorist attack, there's going to be another ISIS attack, there's going to be another bombing or a high school shooting or something like that. Just 2 seconds, I just have to answer the front door. But, you know, real life continues. Alright, man. I'm just making a video. So, you know, we all know there will be another time. Like, there will be another terrorist attack. There will be another high school shooting. There will be another terrible situation like that. And the mainstream media, you know, Sky News, BBC, RTE, whatever. Well, you have to. No problem, man. No problem at all, man. No problem. Great to have you on episode 8 of Johnny Talks. So when the next terrible situation happens, mainstream media will report it. The whole world will be outraged. Hashtag prayer for whatever country it happens in. And we've been talking about it for a week or two, and then we'd all forget about it, which is another thing actually. We all forget about it. But in other countries across the world, there are people being blown up. There are people being shot at, particularly down the Middle East. Because I just want to point out the Middle East because it's just so, you know, graphically. It's just a graphic example to give. Like, the reality is, man, they are innocent men, women, and children being blown up, being shot at on a daily basis in the Middle East. Innocent civilians, right? And this is happening, right? The people who are actually bombing and shooting these people are the US military and the British military, you know, but nobody is talking about that. There's no hashtag or thoughts and prayers with these people, you know, and that's, I think that's a very selective mentality to have, and that's why I made this video. So I really don't have anything else to add to that video, you know. I will try to keep these videos short and sweet and to the point, really. So the title of the video is a question, really. Why are we selective with our prayers and thoughts? Like, why? I'd like to ask that question, and I'd love people to answer that question if they can. I can't answer that question, to be honest with you. I can't answer that question. I have no idea why we are so selective. Again, maybe it's just the way that we're programmed. Maybe, you know, if mainstream media is not talking about it, then we don't care. It's like we have to be told by mainstream media what we should be talking about and how we should feel and who we should care for and who we shouldn't care for. So if mainstream media isn't saying prayer for the Middle East because, you know, they've been blown up, you know, innocent people have been blown up, then we don't send our thoughts and prayers to the Middle East, you know, because mainstream media isn't telling us to. You know, so it's that's the video, like, you know. I'm just simply making a point. So I bring up one final example and then I'll end the video. So this is how it goes. Like, if London was blown up by ISIS, God forbid, you know, but look at how crazy the world is going. Like, you know, I mean, it's happened once before. Look, the subway bombings. Right? If London was attacked by ISIS tomorrow, and let's say between 50 and 100 people died, they were blown up, they lost their lives. Okay? Sky News would be reporting that for like a week straight. A full week. Hello, Black Leather Gamer, welcome back. A full week. Okay, Sky News would report that. The whole world would be in outrage, rightfully so. And rightfully so, our thoughts and prayers would go with the families and friends and the victims, right? Thoughts and prayers, 100%. Okay? But then maybe the following day, an entire school or an entire hospital in the Middle East gets blown up, wiped off the face of the earth. Innocent children, sick people, innocent civilians killed at the hands of a bombing by US and British bombs because of a war that was going on in their country that the Middle East didn't ask for. And nobody is talking about it. I mean, you might get like a 20-second report from Sky News, but do you know how the whole world reacts? Oh, that's just the Middle East. That's just, oh, that's a crazy country. Nobody cares about that country. Oh, it's grand. That's just the way they carry on. That's how the world reacts to when something happens like that in the Middle East. And if that isn't selective, man, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. I don't know why we're so selective. And so I wanted to make the video, was to ask the question, why we're so selective. Yeah, I mean, this video about how selective we are, specifically when it comes to our thoughts and prayers. I mean, watch it. The next time something happens, you know, like whether it be a high school shooting, whether it be an ISIS attack, just listen and watch, and you will hear our thoughts and prayers with this country. And then you'll hear like a 20-second report on Sky News about how an entire hospital or a school was blown up. 20 seconds, and then after that nobody's talking about it, nobody's praying for these people, nobody and nothing. So that, I wanted to talk about that. This is Johnny Talks. This is where I talk about real life things that are happening in the world that need to be said. So, you know, there's going to be no Fortnite gameplay streams anytime soon. There's going to be no Super Mario 64, Happy Go Larry, you know, all smiles and peaches videos, because the world isn't all fucking smiles and peaches. You know, there's shit happening out there nobody's talking about. They're burying their heads in the sand. They're more interested in watching the match, or they're more interested in watching the X Factor, or they're more interested in just fucking putting their head up into the air, you know, thinking that they're God's fucking gift to the green earth. You know? But the reality is, man, the world isn't like that. Right? And that's what Johnny Talks is all about. I've got a lot more to talk about and many more videos to come. So, you know, that's just the way it is. So, thank you all for watching. Big shout out to all of my supporters and subs, including ProChronicsVlogz. Always appreciate the support that he's been giving me for a long time. Black as a Gamer, to you as well. Aiden as well. And to everyone else, they all know who they are. DLA, they all know who they are. I think some people just not particularly a fan of Johnny Talks, which is perfectly fine. I don't mind. They're probably just waiting for me to get stuck into gaming. As I said, you know, I've got a lot more to talk about in Johnny Talks. So, you know, Johnny Talks is not going to go away anytime soon. You know, it's going to get more and more in depth, and I'm not afraid to speak my mind. I'm not one of those people who will be shut up by you know, the far fucking left, you know, killing free speech. I'm bringing back free speech, and I will say it as it is. And that is the video, and thank you all for watching. I've said all I needed to say. Don't need to add any more to it. I'm happy, so goodbye.